Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole and today we are talking all things mood board. Now, you've probably heard this term thrown around before, and obviously if you are an interior designer, this is something that you really want to think of for your clients. However, for us normal people who are just trying to make our house, our home, a room, whatever it is, look the best it possibly can, mood boards are really important at making sure that everything really works together and that you can see your vision before it really is truly fulfilled. If that sounds good to you, go ahead, give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get going. The first thing we're going to look at is the why behind a mood board. Basically, this is just going to be a place where you can gather all of your thoughts, where you can really bring everything that inspires you together into one place, where you can kind of start to narrow down that vision. If you're like me and you are a visual learner, it can be really difficult to visualize what exactly everything's going to look like. Maybe you know some of the basics, maybe you already have some of the pieces, but getting it all together, it's really difficult until it all comes together, and by that point it might be a little bit too late. You might have already spent your hard-earned cash. Maybe it's something that's too big or too small. There are just so many things that can go wrong after the fact that if we can get that done beforehand and we can start to narrow down what it is that really is going to look good and what we can kind of cut out, that's going to be super helpful for you. So this is going to save you in a couple of avenues. One, it will save you some time. When you get everything down in front of you, you can start to see if you're going in the wrong direction. So basically, if you start looking at everything together and you know you want these pieces and you start to put them all next to each other and you realize that doesn't really look great, it's not coming across the way you want it to, it can help you realize that maybe instead of here, we just need to navigate a little bit more in another direction. This can also help save you some money. Furniture is not cheap, and I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend money on something that's not going to work for the space. So this is going to help make sure that you're putting your money in the right places. That's going to help with the overall effect and feel that you're trying to go for. This will help solidify your color palette, and all of that put together is really going to help make sure that those purchasing decisions are easier. It can also help if you're not the only one in the home, so you have a spouse, you have anybody else who has input as to what is going on in the home. It can kind of help you get all of your ideas out of your head to be able to show them to somebody else. Maybe it's not necessarily that you want to hire an interior designer, but you just need to make sure that anybody else who's there is kind of on board as well, or again, just helps talk through the process, make sure that it's not something that somebody else is going to absolutely not be on board with. So now that we know the why behind why this is so important, we want to get into the how. There are a lot of different ways. Go over some of my favorites and then some of the more fancy ones in case that's something that you're interested in. First things first, everybody knows this one, everybody's favorite, it's free. Pinterest is a great place to start. You can upload anything and everything. You can find just about anything and everything and get it all organized by room, by color palette, by style, whatever it is that you're looking for. It's really easy to move things around. It's easy to create those boards. And then again, you have this really nice visual presentation that can help you start to see things like trends. What are the things that repeat? Colors, see how it's come together in other people's homes, just to really, again, give you that nice visual representation. Moving on from there, something like Keynote, PowerPoint, Google Slides, something like that that's already going to be on your laptop, on your tablet, that you already have access to. This can be a great place to start if you're not looking to really invest money into getting this mood board idea out in front of you. After that, Canva is a personal favorite of mine. Now I do pay for the Pro Edition, so you can have the free version. You can also upgrade to get a couple more features like that background remover. I think there are a couple of free websites you can do that too. So again, poke around, see what you can do without having to spend any money first. But Canva's one that I do use myself and can highly recommend. Other favorites are Millinote, Sample Board, or if you're somebody who wants to just cut pictures out of a magazine and put it together on a poster board, that can be really helpful too. So there are no shortages of ways that you can really get the ideas out of your head onto something in front of you. Now, what exactly is it that you're kind of gathering to make this mood board? It doesn't necessarily need to be pictures of the exact couch, side tables, coffee table, rug, etc. If you're doing something like your family room, start broad, and then we can start to narrow that down. Put in pictures of whatever inspires you, whatever you're kind of gravitating towards. Maybe that's certain plants, maybe it's fashion, maybe it's architecture. There are so many different things that you just, again, start really broad, gather everything that is your inspiration for how you want this room to feel and look, and then we can start cutting away from there to get down to that final vision. So an example for Pinterest, again, you want to start with just pinning absolutely everything that you can. Then you can kind of zoom out, see what all of those pins have in common. Are you seeing the same color scheme? Is it the same style of sofa? What is it that's drawing you to these pieces? And then you can start to think, okay, I really like this color. I really like this kind of rug. And then you can start narrowing it down to really fit the space that you're trying to decorate. Now, this can be really helpful in a couple of ways. If you're like me and you are getting kind of a new empty space, maybe you're moving, maybe you're out with the old and with the new, whatever it is, if you are blank slating it, it can be really difficult to see your vision before it's already there in the room. This is one of the closest things we can do to make sure that what we're going to get is really going to work. Now, if you already have everything and maybe you're just changing your color scheme, maybe you just need to really find the right end tables or whatever it is, that can be helpful here too. So maybe you can take a picture of your current room, take a couple of pictures of whatever it is that you are thinking about, or save them from the internet, and then you can start piecing those together and see what kind of looks best in your space. There's really no wrong way to go about this. It's just helpful to know kind of what's out there, what other people are using, so you don't have to do too much research yourself. And once you have all of this down, comes the most important piece, the gut check. This is where you look at everything, take the time to really mull it over and think to yourself, am I happy with the result? Does this look the way I wanted it to? What kind of emotions am I getting out of this? Does this make me feel happy? Does this make me feel satisfied? Or does this make me feel a little bit like something's off, something's wrong? It is going to be so much better to get that information now while it's still just, a browser window that's open on your laptop, before it's too late, the furniture store has dropped off the couch and you are having regrets. This goes back to always thinking about what the kind of function of your room is that you're looking for, and what's that feeling that you're trying to evoke. All of that research you put in beforehand is going to make sure that the room that you have at the end of this is exactly what it is you were looking for. When you're starting to get all of these pieces together, it doesn't need to be exact at first. But again, as you narrow it down, that's when you really want to start using the exact pieces or as close as you can. So that is it for today, short and sweet. I do hope that this was helpful. It's not something that I personally had ever really used before, which is probably why a lot of what I'd done before didn't look so great. One of the many reasons, there's too many to count. But this is definitely something I'm using for my new home, just to make sure that everything is going to look the way that I hope it looks in my head. Getting that out on a piece of paper or my laptop screen in front of me is going to make me feel like I am confident and going in the right direction to make this a reality. If you did find this helpful, I do hope you'll stick around and give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Until next time, bye.